I ended up in the ICU. Nobody showed, nobody checked, only a text from dad, send $50,000. You know that feeling when you're at your absolute lowest, clinging to life by a thread? Well, imagine waking up from that, alone and broken, only to realize the very people who were supposed to be your family saw you as nothing more than a walking ATM. And believe me, what they did next was so much worse than just ignoring me. My name is David, and I'm 29. I don't think I'll ever forget the chilling beep of that heart monitor in the dark, sterile silence of the ICU. My body felt like it had been hit by a truck, every muscle screaming. The fluorescent lights were dimmed, the air thick with antiseptic, and the low hum of machines was the only lullaby keeping me tethered to life. My throat was raw from the oxygen tube, my chest a roadmap of pain from whatever procedures they'd done. I just blinked, trying to piece together how I even got there. The last thing I remembered was collapsing at home, utterly convinced it was just a bad flu. Turns out, it was severe pneumonia, the kind that almost snuffs you out. When the nurse saw my eyes open, she gave me a gentle smile, asking if I wanted her to call someone. I nodded, my mind already going to my family. Surely by now, someone had noticed I was missing? I gave her my dad's number. She left, then came back, hesitating. No one picked up, she said softly, but I left a message. The sting of that settled deep in my gut. My dad? Never without his phone. My mom? Same. My younger sister, Emma, was constantly glued to social media, posting every second of her life. I'd expected a flood of worried messages, but hours turned into a full day. Silence. Not a single call. Not even a "you okay" text. You know how fast that can mess with your head when you're lying alone in a hospital bed. All you can do is think. Every choice, every relationship, every single time you've bent over backward for people who can't even be bothered to show up for you now. I remembered lending Emma money for rent, driving 3 hours in a snowstorm when my parents' car broke down, dropping everything to dog sit so they could have a getaway. And now? Crickets. On the third day, I was finally strong enough to sit up without my head spinning. My phone buzzed. My heart actually leapt. Finally. Someone must have realized I was gone. But when I unlocked the screen, it wasn't a call. It wasn't even a "how are you?" It was a single text from my dad, cold and demanding. "We need $50,000 for your sister's wedding. Send it this week." My chest tightened, but not from pneumonia this time. This was pure, unadulterated anger. 3 days of radio silence, a near-death experience, and that was their first communication? Not "are you alive?" just a blatant demand for money, like I was an ATM with a pulse. I could hear his voice in my head, the tone he always used that made it clear he wasn't asking. He was telling. I didn't reply. I just stared at the ceiling, letting the rage simmer. All those memories flooded back, feeling like my worth was tied to what I could provide, ignored birthdays because Emma had drama, being told, "You're the oldest, you should help out more." And here they were, proving nothing had changed. A few days later, I was discharged. I didn't go to my parents' house. I didn't call them. I went straight home, collapsed on my couch, and just stared at my phone. The sacrifices. The fact that they didn't even know. Full story link attached below.